Today I'll talk about the value of a CFP. Many of us, as an investor or an advisor, we still try to understand what is the active role of a CFP is there. CFP is Certified Financial Planner. Okay, so the next 30 minutes of my session, while I take you through the life as doing a financial management without a CFP, how it looks like, and how a value can be added by a CFP to your financial decisions. So we can understand how our life is very chaotic because of wrong financial decisions, and how a CFP actually brings a lot of value to you, and he puts you onto the track of your financial plan, and he ensures that all your financial goals are reached out as per your risk appetite and risk tolerance. So let me navigate to you through this entire process, and you'll truly connect with every word which I'm trying to say. You, as an investor, you can value the importance of a CFP, and if you're an advisor or a financial consultant, you'll value it more. How you can resonate these things with respect to your clients, because a CFP plays a very integral part of anybody's financial life. So I'll take you through the next slides. Just stay tuned. As I would like to say that I want to emphasize the value of a CFP. Its highest value is there, and how from the chaos to the clarity he's going to take you through. So while we are celebrating the Financial Planning Week, we understand that this is the program which is meant a do-must program for everyone, as an investor or as an advisor or any person. This is a very, very important knowledge for each one of us. Yeah, let us see how it is when the cost of going it all alone. Suppose you try to do it without a financial planner, what will happen? So we know that without a financial plan, you're not absolutely in any control. And who is controlling you? Definitely the money is trying to control you. So let us explore how your life will be when you skip the professional advice. We may at times feel that I can handle my own finances, and we do not know where we may can go wrong. So I will take you down to the different scenarios where you can make the mistakes and you can connect to those mistakes as well. So as a person, suppose when I don't have any clear financial goals. So when I don't have any clear financial goals, we know that money has no directions. Without a plan, your dreams, whatever you're trying to fulfill it, whether you want to buy a house or whether you want to retire early, everything will be just out of care. And we may end up just scrolling and mindlessly trying to visualize the vacations which we're trying to spend with our families, or many, many things. So all our dreams will be left unfulfilled if I don't have very clear financial goals. Let us see how when we are unprepared for certain life events. We have always seen that our life throws very unexpected challenges and it suddenly comes into our life. When we don't have a flexible financial plan, a sudden job loss, or maybe a medical emergency in the family, it can wipe out the entire savings as such. So this is called as a hazardous, the financial disaster which has happened in our lives, which we are not prepared for it. And now, moving down to the next thing, sometimes what we see, we overlook the importance of gathering the financial data, be as an advisor or be as a client. We just trying to skip those informations and we expect that the financial plan has to be done. But without knowing our financial position, exactly what it is there on today, we tend to get overbound. We have a tendency, or we can say the risk of overspending. We may neglect the savings portions, and maybe we'll fall into a trap of a debt. Maybe we tend to take up loans which are not meant for it, or where I do not have the financial capacity to repay my EMIs. So first of all, the most important thing, we understood that the financial data or everything is very critical to move ahead. Ignoring financial risk. This is another important parameter. We as a human beings, we have a tendency to ignore the financial risk, and this will actually lead to a lot of bad decisions. Without any strategy, a fruitful strategy to manage the risk, we will find ourselves suddenly caught in those situations where we'll be ending up doing a lot of unexpected expenses will happen, and which we cannot afford it. So if we cannot ignore the financial risk, and as we know that it is going to take us to very serious bad decisions. Most importantly, all of us being a human beings, we misjudging the risk tolerance, which means that we are taking on more risk than what we can actually handle. This is sometimes it always happens mostly. Why? Because we think that yes, I can take certain amount of a risk, but technically when we actually look into our nature, we realize that we don't have the capacity to handle that much of risk losses kind of a thing. And we may be suddenly lured by the persons around us. We see the way they are trying to tell us, and maybe the overall economy situation is very good. Because of that, we are tend to get overboarded. And these all we know that it leads us to sleepless nights and sometimes a majority of the losses, such a huge losses that it will be very difficult to recoup our losses. So without a proper professional guidance, investments which are actually meant for a wealth creation process, it actually becomes a gamble where you're just trying to risk either you win or lose, or you make profits or you make losses. The chances of making losses are very high when we actually misjudge our risk tolerance. Now, coming to the next point, when we have understood that, okay, financial plan, we see that, okay, what has happened to my friend, it may be the same for me. No, we say that the cookie clutter solutions don't work for everyone. Each one of us need a personalized plan, and our finances will remain chaotic and our future will be uncertain if I don't get myself a specific designed financial plan exclusively for me. What works for my friend will not work for me. Drowning in the debt, yes, as the word says, this is a very, very huge disaster, we can say, for the finances matters. Without a debt management plan, we know that the loans can suddenly go out of control and you'll be ending up paying huge interest, interest on interest, interest on interest. It keeps getting compounded kind of a thing. So as and when keeps compounding in a huge directions, while we know that the investment gets compounded, at the same time, we may not notice it or we do not know it uh, consciously that even the interest when it is unpaid it gets compounded and suddenly it becomes a huge burden for any one of us to pay our debts. So without a proper debt management plan, no doubt we will be sinking in a different directions as such. Paying too much of taxes. Taxes is a big concern for all of us, and we for every decisions we always think of the taxes. And without a proper tax planning, we always may end up paying either more, or we may be not actually taking advantages of the tax deductions which is having, or maybe we are not taking the advantages of the new tax regimes which is coming up, or we may not be, or we may be ignorant of the tax efficient instruments. Many things are possible. So these lack of knowledge in the taxes it can give us a huge losses in our finances, and the losses can be not only in a few rupees, it can run to thousands as such. Now, having understood the importance of all the other things, while we understood about the debt thing, we have understood how our life is unplanned, how it brings us the disasters. A very significant point which we try to ignore is about the insurance aspects. Always we think that, oh, I have an insurance, say if I'm having 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs or 30 lakhs of insurance, I feel it is accurate. But honestly, when we dig back and we actually make the calculations, we understand that most of us are inadequately having the insurance. So this will create a huge crisis and in fact to lead to a financial disaster when we are undercovered and if anything happens to us, and this will be a huge burden to the family which is around us, who is dependent on our income. So sometimes very small insurance covers means that we are vulnerable to many life burst moments. That means some of the moments which are disastrous, which we cannot foresee because every day we feel that I'm blessed, I'm living happily, nothing can go wrong. But we do not know when one small incident, it can turn topsy-turvy to the entire financial journey which we're doing it. So while we have addressed the debt, we have addressed the taxes, we are trying to see the insurance. Now we are also an important point we have to understand that picking up few investments is not the investment strategy. The poor investment strategy, if we have it, it will give us a huge financial decisions which is wrong, and suddenly it will wipe out entire savings of our. If we don't put our strategy properly, our hard-earned money is put at risk, and definitely it's going to unstabilize my financial futures. As we can see from the picture, we know that without saying much about it, we know where this person is having the losses coming up and how the regulations are moving strongly, where they're educating the people to avoid such kind of a very high risky options and futures, which is actually being disastrous to many of the investors who are very naive and enter into the market without the adequate knowledge. And the most important one, when we have an inadequate retirement savings. So retirement savings, we always think it is for the elderly persons who have almost reached to the retirements. But no, sometimes when we can't foresee at the end of 30 years or the end of 40 years how much of amount I'm requiring to have a very happy post-retirement life, it can actually put us into a lot of stress. So inadequate retirement savings, it leads to a future which is filled with lot of financial stress. So that is the age when we have not the ailments like the physical ailments or something like that. Predominantly, most of the people face the financial stress. So without proper financial planning, your golden years, what you're meant to be happy and nice, that becomes a very struggle because you're not able to cope up with the inflations or the raising cost at the time of your post-retirement. Having said that, all the important components which you must have now understood, these were the key points or the key components of anybody's financial life. The most important one is the estate planning. Estate planning, as the name, some of you may know or some of you may not know, this is a very important one, which is meant how we transform our wealth and we give it to the next generations. If I do not have a very right estate planning, my loved ones will be left in a lot of confusions and there'll be a lot of conflict between the siblings, between the children themselves. So a poorly handled estate, it can actually tear the families apart and it will waste the years of your hard-earned wealth which you have brought in with so much of love or hard work you brought in. And if it is not rightly planned for the next generation, it will be absolute disaster. It will not only have a financial loss, it will bring a loss to the family framework entirely. And the most important thing, not just having the financial plan in place, we need to be constantly monitoring the same. So when we don't monitor our financial progress, if you do it once today and you just late unattended, then we say that we are just flying blind as it. We need to track our things with constant tracking. While the goals are at a very fast distance, we should know how certain my financial future is. From the uncertainty to the certainty is what the navigation is all about our life. Many of the things which is uncertain, we can curb that uncertainty by doing certain wise decisions. Now here comes the role of the a certified financial planner, the value of a CFP. So as we have understood, seeing into the different aspects of our life, which is the core and the important decisions, and which all of us do it on a day-to-day basis, our financial mistakes can cost us our dreams. But with a CFP, your entirely chaotic life, it turns into clarity. So we are going to bring in the dimension how a CFP adds value to your financial life. So planning today, it actually brings in you the better tomorrow. Not that a CFP comes with a magic wand and he makes different things, but yes, he ensures that you're traveling on the path where your goals are in match with your income and expenses and the right EMIs and the right insurances. Let us see how he brings the value to the table. We have the stats, how the value of the financial planning people who have worked with them, they felt that they are better off, not only just the financially, but they are more broadly happy on the other spectrums of life also. We have stats where they have shown that they have experienced a better quality of life. They felt a greater financial confidence and they're more satisfied with their life because of their financial situations. When the things are happy at the financial situation level, many other things we have the strength to cope up in our life. So, what does the financial planning mean? Financial planning is just not about the numbers. It is actually the roadmap for our future. The CFPs help you to control your financial destiny. They will help you take you step by step to every angle of your life. They'll address all the key core areas of your life and they will navigate to you the rest of your life till you want to achieve your goals. So, how do they go about it? let us start. Step one, what they do, they understand your financial goals. Goals every one of us have. Maybe buying a dream house, or maybe having a retirement, maybe developing an education corpus for our kids. CFP helps us in prioritizing all these ambitions. That is very key to it. So while as a lay person, I may feel that key education is a key thing, or I may feel the retirement corpus is a key thing, or I may feel that buying a house is good for me. So when I am puzzled with a lot of choices or lot of goals, a CFP helps me in prioritizing those goals. The next step comes once we are comfortable with our CFP and we are ready to share the data. The critical step which we tend to overlook is that gathering the financial data. So he brings in all the important financial data, which comes in the format of your analyzing your income. He analyzes your expenses. He analyzes the debts you're having currently. That means the loans you're having, the assets you're having, and he builds a very good picture of where you stand today. So when we know where I'm standing today, we know that where I want to reach and that to how to reach those things that is coming up in the next steps. So the next step which comes up, he identifies the challenges. He identifies the potential challenges which can affect our financial securities, the things like which we as a layperson may not know, the inflations, the rising cost, and any unexpected life events which is going to happen. So the early detections of these scenarios, it helps us in taking a proactive solutions. So he navigates us through this journey of the challenges. He rightfully, scientifically, he accesses our risk tolerance. He evaluates it. And it's a very critical point when he's crafting our plan. He assesses how comfortable you are with different investments. And he checks out how you are going to resonate, how you're going to react with different instruments in the market. There's so many instruments in the market, but how I feel for that product is the most important thing. None of the products are wrong. All the products are right. It's how the products I resonate with the product is the key to understanding and where he helps us in ensuring that whether I'm comfortable with that product or not. If I'm not comfortable, maybe because of lack of knowledge, he educates me. He tells me how it is important and he navigates me and he helps me in taking it at a pace with which I'm comfortable with. Then the next step comes in where he crafts a tailored plan. After he gathers all the information, he creates a customized financial plan. And that entire intention is to move closer to the goal step by step. All the goals are mapped on year wise kind of a thing. And he tells us which strategy to apply. And the best investment strategy will be decided. And it will be decided based on the asset allocation framework. And he chooses and he guides us how the importance of asset allocation is there when I'm investing wisely. This is a very important step. He builds a portfolio which is mapping to the goals. So, as I mentioned in the previous a couple of minutes before, every investment portfolio for every person is not the same. For different person, based on their age, their financial situations, their goals, their risk tolerance, and the risk appetite, this strategy differs. Only CFP knows how is the right thing which is meant for me. And he balances everything, the growth of my portfolio. And the intention is not to make extra profits for me. The intention was that he will give me through a process where he takes me through and navigates me through a situations whereby step by step my wealth is built and it is for my long-term success. My long-term success is evaluated not only just in the terms of the finances, it will be evaluated in other ways also. Like as we have seen the stats, if we holistically, when the financial plan is designed, I feel happy in the other areas of my life, where it is, be it your health or be your family or be your any other spiritual growth, whatever it is. Everywhere we feel happy, but the main core finances are plugged in. And that core financial plans is plugged in when we have the right investment strategy as recommended by a CFP. Managing the debts, as we know, managing the debts is very overwhelming, and especially in the current age where we are lured by number of loan offers, and everything is so easy to buy, just because the EMIs are there. But if we do not take the right EMIs, it can be very overwhelming. And a CFP helps you to create a plan to manage your debts also. And he'll also help us when to foreclose our loans. Yeah, how to divert my loan amount towards SIPs. So that kind of a strategies he tells me because he knows that my intention is what? My intention is that I want to achieve financial freedom in my life. Financial freedom is a word which we most of us do not understand in the right sense. Financial freedom just doesn't mean that just sitting around and lazing around. Financial freedom means that I don't have to worry about my day-to-day expenses and I can live my life happily, kind of a thing. I may not be rich to afford many big things, kind of a thing, but at least I do not have to have a day-to-day worries. And I'm at a space where I can do anything. I have the freedom to choose things in my life, freedom to do what I want in my life. So that is called as a financial freedom. So financial freedom brings us many other assisted freedoms, we can say, freedoms of our relationships, freedoms of our health, freedom of our other choices, or freedoms to pick up different careers, or freedoms to start, do some startup businesses. So many things happen when the financial freedom choices coming up. So where we reach. Tax planning, yes, as I mentioned, tax planning is a very important word for all of us. Smart tax plannings, it can save us a lot of money. And CFPs guide us. They leverage all the best tax strategies are there, and they help us to pick up the right investment choices based on the current taxes which is going up. Yes, as we know, the tax regimes, they keep changing. They're always dynamic. But come what may, we should know how to shift our gears, how to fine tune our investments in the directions how the taxations are happening. So this keeps our hard earned money very safe. The next step, while the steps which I'm often mentioning is need not be in this order. The order may differ for different persons depending upon the life stage where they are. Insurance and the risk management, we all know that our life is very unpredictable. At any one point of time, there are three things which can happen. Number one, I can live longer. Number two, I may die on the spot. Number three, I may fall sick. So these are the three probabilities of our life which happens. So for all the three scenarios, we should have a right strategies. So when life is unpredictable and to know to quantify how much is the insurance, not just a broad way of calculating as 10 times of your salary or something like that. That's a very raw and a layman way of doing the calculations. If the CFPs have a right approach of calculations, they do the right uh, scientific way of calculating where they ensure that you're covered with the right insurance policies, and he protects you from the unforeseen risks also. So it does not only covers the life insurance, it covers your the other general insurances, the health insurances, and predominantly lot many insurances. And that too, we have to take care of the premium outflow since it is going from an income. He knows that okay, how much is should be the premium outflow from your income. Too much of a premium outflow for a lesser sum assured or a lesser life cover doesn't make any sense. So, who is the one who is able to guide you the right instrument? Of course, the CFP, the Certified Financial Planner, who takes charge of the financial destiny of yours. The retirement planning, retirement, as we all understand, it is a very major milestone. We say that this is the only goal where we don't get the loans. For the rest of the goals of our life, we may take the loans, but for retirement, we don't take the EMIs. No banker will give us EMIs. No banker will give us the loans to cater to our retirement planning. So it's a very major milestone, and which each one of us has to do. And maybe we have to be educated at this point of time. It is not meant for somebody who is plus 40 or somebody who is plus 60. It is as important as for a person who is at the age of 20 also, who, if he starts from the beginning and he sets on the journey of retirement planning, he will be on the right track with the help of our CFPs who maps out the entire strategy. And the intention of the CFP is what? He wants you to be stress free. He gives you the right investment options and he tries to build you the right income streams when post retirement, when you're passive, when you don't have any other job or any other income source. He builds it through different investment instruments. So the taxations also the post retirement, how the annuities or how that income streams will be taxed, that also will be taken care of it. and he is going to navigate it through considering the cost of inflation also, and also seeing that how your lifestyle should not be damaged. We have seen the cases where the people's lifestyle has suddenly fallen down because they haven't done the right investment planning or the right retirement planning. So this is the biggest planning or the biggest word in the entire nation. It is going on. Why? Because we are now into a generations where we don't have any securities. We don't have any retirement plans from the employers or maybe by anybody else. So making the retirement plan has become our responsibility to do, come what may, not depending upon the next generation to take care of you during the your sunset life. It is your responsibility that you build a corpus that at least it will sustain you for your post retirement life. Estate planning, as we have already mentioned once, this is a very, very critical point. Here, the legacy matters. It is wisely said, it is not a man is not known by the amount he has earned in his life. He is known by the amount he transforms it and gives it to his next generations. So we say that a person, he may not be enjoying the wealth during his lifetime, but the wealth which his next generation is going to earn or he is going to enjoy, that has to be translated to his or her hands in the right directions. CFPs work with you to ensure that your estate planning is set up not only to protect your loved ones, it will also preserve the wealth for the next generations. So preservations of the wealth for the next generations is a very, very critical uh, step of the entire financial planning. And once the financial planning is done, it is not that it's a one-time activity. It has to be monitored on a constant basis, not too often, not watching your investment value on a daily basis. Yes, we'll be periodically monitoring it and then adjusting it as and when required. A slight navigations will happen just to keep yourself on the track and everything. And financial planning doesn't mean that you can't do anything else. You just have to keep adjusting to the life events. Life is very dynamic. We all know that. So if the life is dynamic, even the financial plan is to be dynamic. So whether you're getting into a new job or whether you're going to another country or you're expanding your family or you're on a new journey of setting up your new startup or something like that, or you're trying to retire early instead of retiring at 60, suppose you're trying to retire at 50, then what happens? The CFPs will help you in adjusting your plan. He will recast the entire plan for you. And yet, the intention of a CFP is what? He wants to keep you aligned to the financial goal. So, all said and done, it is very clear that your financial journey is mapped to your goals. The intention is to help you and to reach the goals, not assuming that the goals are unreachable or not happening, or it is just a wishful thing to happen. No, all the goals will be attained provided we are in track as per the professional guidance. Everything is possible. So this is how we want every one of us to be empowered with a very, very bright financial futures. And the CFPs are the ones who empower you with the plan and which is designed exclusively for your unique life. When we say that we all are very uniquely brought up, we have a very unique circumstances. Maybe you're in a small town or a big town or in another country. Financial freedom is the essential thing for every one of us. And we say about financial freedom, it starts with a smart planning. So let's build your future together. Let's the CFPs take the right hands with you. They join hands with you, and they are your lifetime partners. So the right partnership, choosing the right partner, or choosing a right wealth partner is the most critical point or the most wisest decisions to go forward. Yes, we should not just think that CFPs are costly or they charge a high fees. No, or we should not feel that the CFPs are meant for only certain segment of society. No, it is a must for every one of us because finances is not just how much to invest. It comes with lot of emotions. So the financial decisions, when it is clubbed with the emotions, it's a CFP who helps us in taking the rational decisions. What is right for me is what he can do for me. Talking about myself, I'm Sunita Rao, and I have experienced of training more than 15 years, and I have trained more than 5,000 students. The numbers are still pouring in. And technically, I'm qualified as a chartered financial analyst. I've done fellowship in life insurance, and training the CFPs is my core passion as of now. And I want to train the best of the best CFPs who will add value not only to one person. Each CFP will add millions of lives. So in turn, I'm seeing a lot of CFPs coming up. As an advisor, a CFP is important. If you are an investor, being a CFP is also a very good decision. I'm a subject matter expert in the other domains of financial planning, wealth management, alternate investment funds, portfolio management services, investment advisories, and mutual funds. You can reach us to us anytime if you want to know more about this program of certified financial planning, especially the fast track program, which is meant for those persons who are having +3 of years of experience and who are having a PG degree programs. To know more, you can reach us out to us, and we were there definitely to help you out.